Very first thing that we will see on this chapter is types of energies. So you see that you are surrounded by energy, and you have heard the word energy so often in your life. However, the best that we do in science is we classify everything that, especially when it is a big thing to tackle and to understand and to process, we classify them into different groups. So the very first one that we will see is the types of energy. So what are the types of energy? And we can conclude that there are 8 types. And we will talk about each of those types into specific. However, it doesn't matter what type of energy they are. The whole purpose of the energy is that uh, they can do work. So all types can do work. Okay, so it doesn't matter what type of energy is mechanical, in potential, electric, whatever type of energy it is. Then the common theme for all types of energy is that they can do work. The very first type of energy that we will see is that is known as the potential energy. Potential means that is a stored energy before a movement. Stored energy before a movement. So if you have an object that you are holding up at a certain height, then you can say that this object is having potential energy, and that specific one is gravitational potential energy, which you may know it is EP, and it is calculated using the formula M times G times H. This is kind of a bit too much for science 14. However, it doesn't hurt you to know. M is the mass of the object in kilograms. G is the gravitational acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.81 meters per second square. And H is the height that the object has from something that we consider zero level. So usually is ground. If you are in a building and you are measuring the potential energy of the being on the 3rd floor of that building, then you will see that the height that is measured from the ground to the point that you are at, to the height that you are at, is considered to be the height measured in meters. So anything that is a certain height from something that we consider as the ground level, it's considered to possess a gravitational potential energy. The second type of energy is that is known as the kinetic energy. Kinetic means movement. So any object that has a mass and it is moving, it's considered to be possessing kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is with E for energy and K to identify the kinetic. And it is calculated with formula 1/2 mv squared, where m is the mass of the object that is moving, mass of moving object, in kilograms, and the V is the speed in which the object is moving, and it is measured in meters per second. Those formulas are something that are beyond the course for Science 14. However, as I said, it doesn't hurt you to know and be aware of those, even though that you are not using them into this course in terms of the calculations. The third type of energy that we will study and we will see is that is known as the thermal energy. Uh, Thermal means heat, okay? Heat. Anything that is coming in a campfire, let's say, or stove element, or the oven that you are heating something or baking something, the heat that is coming from that is known as the thermal energy. Anything that is burning, so heat, is that is burning and is creating heat, it's considered to be the thermal energy of the type of energy. And again, as I said, like, it doesn't matter what type of energy is it. What is important, what do they have all in common? Have the fact that they are able to do work. The fourth type of energy is electrical. Speaking of, here, for whatever we are doing beyond the kinetic and potential, you will not see any formula or calculations per se, because they are object and subjects of the other courses beyond Science 14. The electrical energy is the energy that is coming from electricity. That is coming from the electricity. So when you plug in something in the outlet in your wall, then that means that you are having grabbing that or using the electrical energy that is coming from the system, the electrical system of your home. Or when you are turning on the light for the key for the light in your home, then what does it mean is that you are using the electrical energy that that is coming from your home. Okay. Next type of energy, the fifth one, is the light energy. The light energy is the energy that is coming from either visible or invisible light. And a light is a spectrum, the whole spectrum of light is the energy coming from, this is the energy coming from light. So you may have experienced that if the sun rays are hitting you directly or through the glass in your window, then you may feel a heat. That means that this is the light energy, okay? Or when you see the heat that is coming from the light, the bulbs, then that means that it's the light energy. The next type of energy, which is the sixth one, is the sound energy. Sound. And now you see that they are all the name of them and the type of why they are coming and how are we using. It's taken on the name of the energy. So the sound energy, as I said, the name is coming from what is it produced? What is it? The source of the energy. And that means that this type of energy is as a result of the sound. When we speak, we actually, what we do is we transmit energy from point A to point B. The music that you hear, the voice, the conversation that you hear, uh, anything that is related to the sound, it's as a result of the sound energy. Okay. Next type is the chemical energy. So chemical energy is the energy that is in the bonds. Energy. It's the energy that is stored in the bonds of the chemicals. We saw on the previous chapter so that we have elements and compounds. Okay, so those compounds are elements that are combined, are bonded between each other. And then if you break the bond or if you form the bonds, then energy is either released or absorbed. This energy that is on those chemical bonds is known as the chemical energy. You can see the chemical energy when a reaction is happening. So chemical reaction very often release heat. You can see, you can feel. If you have a beaker and the chemical reaction is happening, then you will see that the heat is produced around the beaker, meaning that chemical energy is kind of taking place. And the last but not least type of energy is that is known as the nuclear energy. The nuclear energy is as a result of radioactive reactions. Elements are reacting between each other to form, to create a huge energy. Now, out of all of those energies that we said, nuclear energy is the most potent energy, because with a small amount of radioactive element, you can produce a lot of energy, which means that you can have, as we said at the beginning of this lesson, you can have a lot of work done. So those are the types of energy that we will see on the science 14, and usually those are the types of energy that are in any science subject that you have. As we said, the whole purpose, what they have as common, those types of energies, is the fact that they are able to do work. Okay, so work, on the other hand, is calculated as the product of force that is either pushing or pulling times the distance. So let's suppose that you are pushing or pulling something, and then this is force. Force is measured in newtons. Well, and as a result of this push or pull, you are moving a certain object at a certain distance. And distance is in meters. So the product of the force and the distance is known as the work done on the object. Now, keep in mind, if one of those, either force or distance, is equal to 0, then the work done on the object is equal to 0. So you can push and pull an object, but if you are not able to move that object, then the work done on that object is equal to 0, because anything multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. Now, you know that in science, what do? Is we give letters. So work is assigned with letter W, because it starts with W, is equal to force times as F times distance. Okay, the product of newtons and meters, it's giving us a new unit, which is joules. So joules is the same as saying newtons times meters. Joules is the same as saying newtons times meters, or the same as saying kilograms meter squared per second squared. Okay? We will not do a lot of calculations on this, work formula now. We will see more in other next lessons. However, just keep in mind that what are the 8 types of energy, and what is the formula that calculates the work. And also keep in mind that any type of energy is able to do some work.